for first place, but it's between second and third. So I suspect it'll be quite an open match. Mark Williams started the day with a 3-0 win over Aaron Hill, but it was that 3-0 defeat to Lu Ning. Again, very similar to the other group. That just changed everything. And then he was hoping that Hill would beat Lu Ning. That didn't happen, so that's why they're playing for second or third.
Williams has got a 100% record to protect here. He's played Maguire 4 times previously in the Championship League and won all 4. Helped by 3 centuries, including a 137. Misjudged that though, trying to go into the bunch. You were right, Dave. Oh, red's gone in. I'll tell you what, Stephen Maguire today, over the piece, has not had the best of fortune. And that's putting it mildly. He'll be quietly simmering.
Well, just watch this last kiss here. Nothing in at this point, and then there's just a little kiss on that red, knocked it into the pocket.
Nine.
The thing is, these are big time players, aren't they? And obviously, all right, a grand's a grand, yes, but it would be different, I think, this match if they were competing to get back into the event on Friday in stage 3. So expect it to be, we've already seen, expect it to be an open match, and it's going to be about just who gets them. Williams was a little fortunate.
60.
That red went in. The stage is set for a big break here. Had that 1-3-3 in his first match. He played so well in that match this morning against Aaron Hill. But Lu Ning was very stubborn in the match they played here this evening. I think, though, Phil, the highlight of the day must be the birthday cake that was bought for you. A lovely
23.
sponge.
Wasn't it just? Wasn't allowed to have the 60 candles. I think it was health and safety stepped in. But yeah, Phoebe
24.
Millam from Matchroom, she looks after us so well, and she came up with the goods. As a keen golfer, David, it's the only time I like a slice out of a birthday cake.
30.
A niche joke there.
31.
Well, Mark Williams, I'm sure would like to produce a strong performance here, but the disappointment is obvious that it's not a match that will decide who wins the group. But he started the season well. Of course, he won, obviously, in the first stage. He's qualified for
36.
the European Masters. Of course, last season he won the British Open very early on in the campaign.
37.
Yes, the way he qualified for the European Masters, not the weekend gone, the weekend before that, was, I think, very illuminating. He was 4-2 down to Liam Highfield, pulled it back to 4-4, went 61-0 down in the decider, and produced a 62 clearance. It was vintage stuff, but the pink wasn't vintage.
37.
I was saying that Williams had won all of their meetings in the Championship League. Head-to-head wise in other tournaments, though, Maguire has had the better record.
7.
He leads Williams 6-3.
8.
Their first meeting was 17 years ago, last 16 of the Northern Ireland Trophy in 2005. Maguire won 4-3 from 3-1 down.
50.
Yeah, I think in any tournament, Williams v
60.
Maguire, it feels like a sort of even match, doesn't it? You wouldn't really, I don't think, invest too much on either of them because either can beat the other on any given day. Obviously, Williams has had the better career, but Stephen Maguire doesn't fear anybody. That's one of his great strengths.
24.
He's beaten Williams 3 times at the UK Championship. 2007 quarter-final, 9-5. Clinched with a break of 130.
31.
2014 UK Championship, won 6-2 in the last 32.
32.
And then 6-5 in the last 16 in 2018 from 4-2 down. That day, he made 3 centuries and a 97. The biggest occasion
35.
victory for Williams over Maguire. 6-4 in the last 16 of the Masters a decade ago.
36. Cheers.
So we come down to the crux of the frame now, these last 2 reds on cushions.
$43. 44.
That wasn't clean, and this will need to be
51.
very precise.
Stephen Maguire, 51.
51 to lead by 14 on the last red.
What?
Super pot from Williams. Pressure's off to a degree, though, it's got to be said in this match, because it's not going to decide
Mark Williams, 1.
group winner, and maybe the fact that pressure's off didn't help there, actually. So Maguire favourite now on the yellow to win this frame.
2. 5.
Brown is frame ball.
9. 9, and the first frame.
This group has been won already by Lu Ning. This is about 2nd and 3rd, and Stephen Maguire leads Mark Williams 1-0. Mark Williams waiting to break off here, trailing Steve Maguire 1-0, just waiting for the little countdown clock to get to 0.
There you go. The second frame. Mark Williams to break.
He was like Usain Bolt there on the starting blocks. Couldn't wait to hit the white.
One.
Oh, this is nice. This is very nice.
8. 9.
Referee Rob Spencer had a couple of long matches last week and then stayed on for the European Masters. I don't think this will be one that will delay him too long. Maguire goes into them. Yeah, by the end of this week, there's Rob. By the end of this week, with the
14.
qualifying as well, he would have refereed 20 days in a row without a break. What a trooper.
And that's why, as I mentioned in the previous match, he's allowed the odd verbal faux pas, i.e. Jensen button.
50.
Good of you to mention it again, Phil, after he berated you for mentioning it in the first place.
Oh yeah, he blamed us, of course. In fact, he said it, we just reported.
$20. Jesting, thanks. 21.
Cracking pot, that.
23. $24.
I know he surprisingly lost to Oliver Brown in the European Masters. I know he's not going to win this group. But I've seen enough from Maguire in this tournament to suggest he's got a couple of
29.
deep runs in tournaments in him this season.
Well, if you look at his career, he's come good every
30.
so often, hasn't he? You can never quite predict when it'll be. But yeah, you absolutely can turn it on for a week. Not at the European Masters, he didn't qualify for that.
It was a really strange match against Oliver Brown because obviously he's a big favourite to win. And he made back-to-back
35.
centuries to go 4-3 up, but didn't get the job done. And he's not
Stephen
got the job
Maguire,
done there.
35.
No, it's a little bit loose, but as I say, that's kind of reflective of the situation that they find themselves in. I think, listen, they both want to win, yes, but equally I think they just want to get the match out of the way now, because they didn't get what they came here for today, which was a place in the third phase on Friday.
Exactly the same applies to Hossein Vafai and Jimmy Robertson on table 2, where I can tell you Robertson has just equalised. It's 1-1.
7. $30. 40. 20. 21. 26.
Yeah, another slightly loose
Matt
one.
Williams, 26.
Just sort of petering out now, isn't it? It's kind of... The headline act has left the building, Lu Ning. He'll be coming back Friday.
Well,
I'm afraid it's one of the hazards of this format. It's surprising, actually, just how many groups do go down to the final match. Far more than you might imagine. But
5.
sometimes you can get a situation like this where it is, to a degree, anticlimax. But of course, on Friday, when the trophy is lifted, it will not be. As Dave has mentioned, it is 2 4-player groups
11.
on both tables, and then the 2 winners of those groups go head-to-head over the best of 5 frames for the silverware.
Yeah, to win the Championship League, you'll have to have played 10 matches and won almost all of them. Dave Gilbert lost 1 last year
Matt Williams 18.
along the way. Tomorrow we've got 2 very interesting groups. Stuart Bingham, Ben Wollaston, Jordan Brown and Jamie Jones. That'll be on this table. And table 2, Dave Gilbert, the reigning champion, Robert Milkins, Michael White and Zhao Guodong. So, get the feeling those might well come down to the last set of matches, because they seem, paper anyway, to be close groups. Wollaston, of course, beat Mark Selby to win their group.
He's a master of sarcasm, isn't he? Mark Williams tapping the table there.
Cheers.
He did not get hold of that cue ball at all.
Well,
You touched on this, Dave. These guys, throughout their careers, play on adrenaline. When there isn't any there, it's tough to get going.
Stephen Maguire 1.
Well, just a bit of focus needed here, because this is a golden chance for 2-0. And then the long drive up north for Maguire. I'm sure he'd be delighted, though, that the Scottish Open this season, he's actually in Scotland. It's been Edinburgh. After COVID forced it to be firstly in Milton Keynes, and then contractual issue meant last year ended up in Llandudno in North Wales.
And although I can't say this from first-hand knowledge, all of the reports suggest that the new venue, the Meadowbank Sports Centre in Edinburgh,
17.
is terrific.
The main thing is it's in
23
Scotland for
in the frame,
Maguire.
Stephen Maguire.
He's won that frame. It was, again, one where there were lots of chances either way, but Maguire's won it. He leads 2-0. It's 2-0 to Stephen Maguire against Mark Williams, but neither can win the group. Lu Ning has already won it. That's why he's been very open as the clock ticks down and frame 3
Stephen Maguire to break.
gets underway. If he wins it, he will at least end the day in second place. Well, oh, one's gone in. He's had a bit of luck at last. One definitely went in there. I say a bit of luck, I suppose. Could have finished a little better for a colour, but you can't really complain if you've just smashed into them. It's a bit hampered on the blue, but he'll be taking it on. Ah, nicely done. Here we go again.
Could be like a frame of 9 ball, this.
6.
The wing ball, as they call it, going in. He could run
7.
out. A break and run.
Yes, of course, the European Open fell very short in Berlin, and actually your birthday tributes continue to pour in because Marcel Eckhart from Berlin sent a message earlier to wish you well.
Thanks, Marcel. Yeah, it's in a place called
20.
Fulda, actually, near Frankfurt. The Hotel Esperanto. Sounds great.
21.
Now, Williams encouraging Maguire here to do well. Maguire said, I don't think I've ever won a frame directly off the break. And Williams saying, I don't think I've ever lost one.
26. 27.
A prime occasion to lose a frame off the break would have been, well, a number of years ago now when you're up against the Australian Quinton Han, who went through a phase of breaking off like Maguire did there in big tournaments
30.
in knockout situations.
Well, I remember one year he played Williams at the Crucible and
35.
Mark beat him 13-2. He won the last 13 frames, so the strategy that year didn't exactly work for Quinton.
$42. 43.
Saw this with Mark Allender, didn't we, last Thursday? You know, when the pressure's off, these guys are just really, really good.
50. 51.
Yes, Allen was amazing, wasn't he? Just running around the table, winning frames in 6, 7, 5 minutes even. And then in the European Masters
58.
qualifiers, he was 3-1 up to Farah Khashaib, lost 5-3. That was
59.
a real shock to everyone.
Yes, and he put a sort of rather cryptic tweet out afterwards. Sometimes you just have to laugh, so that could mean anything, couldn't it? Anyway, it's Lu Ning who's had the last laugh in this group, but Stephen Maguire
66.
has ended on a high. crashed into the reds off the break off, not one in,
67.
and he's won the frame off it. So he's going to finish second. Mark Williams third, Aaron Hill, of course, fourth in this group. But Lu Ning, crucially, coming back on Friday.
72. 73.
Average shot time for Maguire in this match, 13 seconds. And he's had enough because he's
Stephen
not
Maguire,
gone for a pot.
73.
And Mark's going to carry on. That's classic Williams. Maguire was going around to shake hands, and that's the only reason Mark Williams has carried on, to annoy him. And there is the handshake. So it is Stephen Maguire who finishes second. I think a lot of us thought this could be the group decider, but Lu Ning, of course, had already